Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Klis's Mike Drop, your favorite Broncos podcast among the hundreds of Broncos podcasts that are out there. What we have here is the OTA edition. Broncos started their OTAs this week out at Broncos headquarters, their training facility. If you want to know what OTAs means, it basically is practice. Although without pads. They do not practice in pads during the offseason. They do practice with helmets. It's basically like a regular season practice when they're not in pads, which is most of the time, by the way, during the regular season. In training camp, they put on pads as much as they can, especially in the Sean Payton era. But these are legit practices. They're called organized. The OTA stands for Organized Team Activity. And so OTAs for short. So let's go over the 9 issues. Here we are, Mike Klis with 9 news. And I've come up with 9 issues, 9 question marks for the Broncos as they began OTAs this week. The number 1 question mark, the number 1 issue, Bo has to be better in year 2. That's number 1. I think Bo Nix, the second-year quarterback, is only everything to this franchise. Now, Bo was real good in his rookie year. And for the most part, in year 2, Bo Nix from, let's say, game 5 through the rest of the season last year, you'll take that same Bo Nix. But you got to get off to a better start, especially with the way the schedule lines up. The Broncos, I think, have to start 2-0 against the Tennessee Titans at home and Indianapolis Colts on the road, because then the schedule really gets pretty tough. Bo last year, if you remember, first 2 games, 0-2, 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. He was getting his feet wet as a rookie. I'm sure he'll do better out of the gate this year. Looked real good at Coors Field, by the way, the other day. Throwing out that first pitch, no hitch in his giddy-up, even though he had off-season arthroscopic ankle surgery. That doesn't look like that's affecting him, so Bo should be better in year 2. My second issue, the health of the inside linebackers. They've got 2 good inside linebackers when healthy. Alex Singleton, we all know that he's a tackling machine, 170-plus tackles when healthy, and never comes off the field. Greenlaw, the San Francisco 49ers, a tremendous sideline-to-sideline talent, but injuries are part of their story. Alex Singleton suffered a season-ending ACL injury in Game 3 last year at Tampa Bay. That wound up hurting him as the season went along in the last quarter of the season, I would say. And Greenlaw had that Achilles that he popped in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Basically missed all of last year because of it. When he came back, there were some residual injuries. He had a strained calf that forced him to miss the last 2 games of last season. Already in the offseason program here, the first week, he strained a quad. Now, the Broncos say he'll be ready full go by the start of training camp, but still he's missing all the offseason after he missed almost all of last year. The third issue, Harvey and the Bronco running back position. Audric Estime comes back, the power back, the 5th-round draft pick from Notre Dame last year. And then Jaleel McLaughlin in his 3rd year, undrafted. And, a nice speed back, an effective back, but I think you want Jaleel getting the ball 6 or 7 times a game, not 11 or 12. So R.J. Harvey looked good in rookie training camp. He'll be somebody we look at during the OTAs. Your number 4 issue is who is going to get the ball after Courtland Sutton? Who's going to be the number 2 or number 3 receiver? You got Pat Bryant. They didn't get one in free agency. They looked at Stephon Diggs. They looked briefly at Cooper from the Rams. They didn't really pursue him. They did look at Diggs just a little bit, but his price tag went way out of whack. They were hoping to get a veteran, in the $5 million range. That didn't work out. And so they got Pat Bryant in the 3rd round. And in the 3rd round, he's a good one, but usually it takes rookie receivers a good half season before they're ready to go. Troy Franklin, for instance, last year was a high 4th round pick. Pat Bryant will work his way in and should be a real contributor by the second half of the season. Your fifth issue, the Joker. Boy, that's what Sean Payton kept talking about as his biggest offseason need, his priority. He wanted a Joker, which a Joker by definition is a tight end or running back with elite pass catching skills. And Evan Ingram is that type of player. He came by way of Jacksonville. He's a former Giants first-round draft pick back in 2017. But Ingram wound up with Jacksonville via free agency. And 2 years ago, in 2023, Ingram had 114 catches. So yes, he has elite pass catching skills. Like all the rest of the free agents the Broncos signed, there's a question mark regarding his health. He had season-ending shoulder surgery last year. I think he'll be a little limited in OTAs, but again, will be full go by training camp. Your sixth is Talanoa Hafanga. What kind of impact is this new free agent safety going to have on the Broncos defense? He's basically going to replace P.J. Locke back there. Team up with Brandon Jones, should be a heck of a safety tandem. Hafanga in 2022 was arguably the best safety in the NFL in just his second year with the 49ers. Kind of like Troy Polamalu, just a Tasmanian devil all over the field. A ball hawk, had interceptions with a pick six in that year, had 97 tackles, tremendous. But then halfway through 2023, he tore an ACL. Number 7, a rookie punter. Broncos going all in on Jeremy Crashaw from Florida. He was drafted in the 6th round. They let Riley Dixon go, and new special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi had his sights set on Crashaw right away, and he let Matt Hawk go, the veteran left-handed punter, left-footed punter, and Crashaw's going to get the job. A big leg, Australian-born, knows how to do all the Australian-type punts and placements and low-line drives and bounce it if he has to. He's also a good conventional punter with a big leg who should be able to take advantage and flip the field at mile high. Your number 8 issue, Jaden Baron, the first-round cornerback. The Broncos took surprisingly at number 20. Surprisingly, not because he wasn't worthy of that spot, but because the Broncos seemed to be okay in the secondary. It turns out, the near as I can figure, Jaquan McMillan was one guy who was a little vulnerable at times to those big tight ends. McMillan, a scrappy, feisty defensive back, gives it his all, good ball hawk. Nowadays, that nickel plays 75% of the snaps, and that's what Barron's going to do. They're going to keep Riley Moss on the outside for now, even though I think Riley Moss would make a tremendous, and I think really is eventually going to be a nickel because he's such an aggressive tackler. But Baron, if he comes on and has a good rookie year, boy, that Broncos secondary with Hafanga and Baron should have a real good secondary. And finally, the 9th and final issue for the Broncos as they start OTAs. Will the shortened schedule here in June and July have any impact on them when they play for keeps in September and October? I don't think so. Usually there's 3 weeks of OTAs, and then the final week, the 4th week, is the mandatory minicamp. Well, this year, there's only 2 weeks of OTAs. So they have 6 OTAs practice sessions instead of the normal 10. So 4 fewer. It has something to do with backdating the calendar, I was told. You backdate the calendar from the start of training camp, which is around July 26th, 24th, somewhere in there. And you backdate it to the Father's Day. It's supposed to be 40-something days in there. And that's why they had to shorten the schedule this year. Personally, I think practices are a bonus in May and June. Cortland Sutton didn't participate in OTAs, just kind of stood around in the 2 mini camps, and he had the best year of his career last year. I mean, they help. They do help bring the team together. You learn the playbook. You knock off a lot of rust. You get in condition. All those things are important. But 4 less practices in May, I think they practice enough. Let's put it that way. Especially they'll be saying that as they start, as they finish up week 2 at training camp there in early August. And of course, the big news this week already, Dearius Thomas, the late receiver, the late great receiver for the Denver Broncos, and a late great guy, has been elected as the 38th member of the Broncos Ring of Fame. First ballot inductee, the first chance he could be, he was eligible. He was elected and definitely deserving. You know, DT, we lost him too soon, and he died at 33 from complications of a seizure around Christmas time, just shy of his 34th birthday in Georgia in 2021. It's been 4 years almost now. Hard to believe, but DT, I tell you, it was, even though it was a short life, it was a life well lived and a playing career well played. With the Broncos, he was the number 2 all-time Bronco receiver in touchdown catches and in yards, second only to Rod Smith. And in receptions, he was 3rd all-time behind Rod Smith and Shannon Sharp. One of the best. I would put DT in the top 3 Bronco receivers of all time with Lionel Taylor, who was phenomenal the first 5-6 years in Broncos history, and Rod Smith. And I tell you, there was a 4-year period for Dearius. Now, this was during the Peyton Manning years, right? But it was, you know, Peyton would say that, look, Peyton had some touchdown passes where he threw a bubble screen to Dearius, and Dearius took 78 yards for a touchdown. So Dearius helped Peyton just as much as Peyton helped Dearius. And but in the 4-year period from 2012 to 2015, get this with Dearius, he averaged in those 4 years 101 catches, 1,447 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's his average. His 5th best season, 90 catches and 1,083 yards, was still better than Cortland Sutton's best season that he just had in 2024, to give you some perspective on how good DT is. The Broncos will hold the 10-year anniversary of their Super Bowl 50 team at the same time Dearius is inducted. That'll be week 7 against the New York Giants during the regular season on October 19th. So congratulations to the family and the legacy of Dearius Thomas. He is a Broncos Ring of Famer. Thanks for tuning in to Klis's Mike Drop, and we'll talk to you again next week to share what we saw from the Broncos OTA session this week.